It's 2002. You're sitting in a dim light lit room, your hand hovering over a bulky keyboard. You type in an URL you heard about on the school playground, Battleon.com. What you're about to enter was never supposed to survive. And yet, in an industry where most forever games disappear within 5 years, this one is still alive, 24 years later. The early internet wasn't built for permanence. It was chaos. A digital frontier of tiny flash animations and disposable games. You would click, you would play for 5 minutes, you would close the tab. And just like that, everything you did was gone. No saves, no progress, no identity. You didn't exist the moment you hit the close tab. Then, one developer broke the rules entirely. A man working from a small home office, with a stubborn, almost irrational idea. What if a browser game could have a soul? His name was Adam Bone, known to players as Artix. He built AdventureQuest using Adobe Flash, a tool never designed for massive RPGs. Flash was meant for banner ads, simple animations and annoying pop-ups. Not for an entire world. But Artix found a loophole. By storing player data on remote servers, while keeping the game inside the browser, he created something revolutionary. A persistent world that could run on almost any computer. But survival isn't just about code, it's about consistency, and this is where everything changed. Every single Friday, without fail, a new update appeared. A new quest, a new weapon, a new piece of story, week after week, months after months. Today, we call this live service. 2002? It didn't exist. AdventureQuest didn't feel like a game anymore. It felt alive, like a digital TV show, where you were the main character. Miss a week, and you missed a part of history. But then came the real test. In today's world, monetization is everywhere. Battle passes, loot boxes, endless subscriptions. But AdventureQuest did something unthinkable. They introduced the Guardian upgrade. One payment, about $20. That's it. No monthly fees, no hidden systems. You paid once, and you were a premium player forever. Think about that. There are players logging in today using an upgrade they bought in 2004. Artix Entertainment has been delivering content to them for over 20 years, based on a single purchase. It wasn't a transaction, it was a promise, and they kept it. And then there was a tone. AdventureQuest never tried to be serious. It was epic fantasy, mixed with complete absurdity. One moment, you are fighting a world-ending dragon, the next, a lizard in a top hat. The writing was full of jokes and puns. It felt less like a product and more like a group of friends building something together. It wasn't trying to be the most realistic game, it was trying to be the most welcoming. By 2008, something had changed. Players didn't just want to play anymore. They wanted to be seen, to show off their gear, to stand next to others, to exist together. So Artix did the unthinkable. They built a real-time MMORPG inside the browser, AdventureQuest Worlds. No downloads, no high-end PC. If you could open a tab, you could enter a world with thousands of players. This wasn't just an update, this was a moon landing. Then came the master stroke, limited time items. A weapon appears on Friday and disappears forever on Monday. No reruns, no second chances. This created something powerful, a history-based identity system. Your inventory wasn't just gear, it was proof. If you saw someone wearing a rare item from 2008, you weren't looking at pixels, you were looking at a veteran. Someone who was there. But every empire built on borrowed technology faces a reckoning. For AdventureQuest, that reckoning was Adobe Flash. By the late 2010s, Flash was dying. Slow, unsafe, unsupported. Then came the announcement, December 2020, Flash would be shut down. For almost every browser game ever made, this was a death sentence. Thousands of games disappeared. Entire communities erased. A digital extinction event. But Artix Entertainment didn't shut down. They adapted. They built their own platform, the Artix game launcher, a way to keep the game alive outside the browser. It broke their biggest rule, zero install. Now, Players had to download something, a risk that could have killed everything. But the community didn't leave, they followed. Because it was never about the browser, it was about the world. They didn't just save the game, they saved the history. From 2021 to 2025, AdventureQuest existed in a strange state. Alive, but outdated. Locked at low frame rates, running on aging systems. New players would ask, is it still updated? The answer, always the same. Yes. Every Friday, no matter what. Then, in 2026, they made their boldest move yet. Project Infinity. They launched a Kickstarter. Goal? $1. A question to the community. Do you still care? The answer wasn't a yes, it was a flood. 1 minute, goal reached. 1 hour, hundreds of thousands. 1 day, nearly $500,000. Players returned, not just to play, but to protect something they loved, their memories. But funding was just the beginning. The real challenge? Rebuilding everything. Over 60,000 items, each one recreated, tested and preserved. Because this wasn't just code, it was history. Lose one item and you lose a piece of someone's past. So, what is AdventureQuest? It's not just a game, it's proof. Proof that trust matters, that consistency matters, and that players remember. In a world where games disappear overnight, this one stayed, not for 5 years, not for 10, for over 2 decades. Some games are built to make money, others are built to last. The servers are still online, the updates still arrive every Friday. And the hero is still you.